Oggi sono lieto di annunziarvi la campagna contro la fame nel mondo lanciata dalla nostra Caritas Internationalis e comunicarvi che intendo dare tutto il mio appoggio.
Recently, in an unprecedented video message, Pope Francis appealed to the world to put an end to hunger by supporting the Caritas Internationalis campaign, One Human Family, Food for All. The campaign aims to end world hunger by the year 2025. Join us as we learn about the work of eradicating world hunger and promoting justice and peace in this episode of Catholic Focus.
Il Signore si è identificato quando diceva: avevo fame e mi avete dato da mangiare.
Hello and welcome to Catholic Focus. I'm Cheridan Sanders. I'm pleased to welcome to our Sultan Light Studios Father Agos Hayesh, the Executive Director of Caritas Ethiopia. Thanks for speaking with us today. Father, tell us about the campaign and how that all came about.
The campaign indicates that while there is availability of food for all human beings, but the practice shows that it is about 1 billion people that need food in our globe. So it is all about sharing the resource of the world that is generously given by God, so that we, as our belief and faith tells us, to share that gift of God with those who are less fortunate.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't familiar with the relationship between the work of development peace here in Canada and the effects that it has in Caritas, in Ethiopia, tell us, what is the relationship between the two?
The relationship between the Caritas Ethiopia and the development and peace goes back to 1974, in the time that Ethiopia entered into a difficult moment, entering into civil war, and then a lot of Ethiopians were in difficulty. Not only that they lack food, but also they lacked peace. But in a bigger picture, in 1984, when the big famine happened in Ethiopia, Caritas member organizations partnered and paid their solidarity in supporting the people who were in need. Since then, this partnership continued.
So what are the initiatives that have been taken on to provide food security, and can you explain to me the concept of food sovereignty?
Whenever there is a drought cause food shortage in Ethiopia, Caritas Ethiopia work together with Development and Peace and other Caritas member organizations in first responding the immediate need of the food, so we call it an emergency food deliverance. But then we link that with development, so that we work on resilience, so that the environment can be, and then people can be ready when a drought comes, to manage the drought cause food shortage. In this process, we try to help people to work for themselves, so that prepare the land and then maybe water resource issues, and then small-scale irrigation, so that they can cultivate, so that the next year, the coming year, would not be another year that would come be heavy on people. But when we talk about sovereignty, is a right of every person to have food. It's a basic need. It is a basic need for humanity. In 21st century, it is very difficult to hear that there are families and children who have no supper or who have no dinner. When we are discussing about food sovereignty, it is not we provide food because we do have resource, but it is because a human person is God's created dignified person. So we are focusing very much at a person, that person needs to have his basic needs in this world.
How successful have these programs been?
Because Caritas Ethiopia have an experience since 84, 85 in responding to the need of people, and then especially working with the community. Every program we start there, we get a good result. So the evaluation of every program that we are doing indicates that it has been successful so far. but then we can do only the minimum of it, because 92 million, that's a big number population. There are other NGOs who are also doing their part, but as a Catholic Church in Ethiopia, being a member of the Universal Church, we do have more opportunities in linking with our Caritas network in the world to also circulate the news of the need in the country.
Coming up, we learn about how Canadians can make a difference.
For over 45 years, Development and Peace has been supporting some of the world's poorest communities in Africa, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East. These communities are struggling for justice so that they can live peacefully and be the actors of their own development. When Development and Peace was founded in 1967 by the Bishops of Canada, it was to be in solidarity with these communities. Each year during Lent, Development and Peace invites Canadians to stand in solidarity with the world's most poor through its annual Share Lent campaign. This campaign raises awareness of social justice issues in the Global South and raises funds to support community initiatives to end poverty. It carries the name Share Lent because by sharing and showing our solidarity with the poor, the spirit of Lent is renewed. And this solidarity is making a big difference. Here's how. Conditions for growing crops are not easy in Ethiopia. The country's increasingly dry climate is making it difficult for farmers to cope. Often they are left with poor yields or none at all. Development and Peace is working with Caritas Ethiopia to support farming families. They are receiving drought-resistant seeds, training sessions to improve their cultivation techniques, and help to build pools to collect rainwater for irrigation. With support from Development and Peace, the Agri-Aqua Development Coalition in the Philippines is helping farmers make their crops more profitable. This coalition of 120 community organizations is helping the rural poor to form cooperatives so they can sell their crops at a fair price. For many families, they can now afford to send their children to school thanks to these improvements. Women are the pillars of society in Haiti, yet they rarely receive the support they need to be autonomous and care for their families. Development and Peace is working with the local organization Femmes Décidées to help Haitian women take their place in society. Women are learning to start seedling nurseries, being trained to raise livestock, and gaining the confidence to stand up for their rights. Many rural communities face the arrival of mining companies who settle on their land or contaminate their land, air, and water. The local group SEAS, in partnership with Development and Peace, is training communities to defend their rights so they can live in a safe and healthy environment. These are just some of the ways that Development and Peace, with the solidarity of thousands of Canadians, is contributing to a world of justice. Give your gift of solidarity today. Donate online at www.devp.org. Thank you for your generosity.
It sounds like the church is having a huge impact. I wonder, with the Catholic Church only being a part of maybe 1% of the population, how have these efforts been received?
The Catholic Church, yes, we are the minority in terms of numbers, but in terms of social services, we do have big programs and projects. We serve yearly over 15 million Ethiopian people in different sectors of programs like education, health, and then other social development programs, including agriculture. These programs had been always been welcomed by communities and then also by the governments. The reason for this is the people who work with the community there, say it religious congregations or laity professionals, the commitment is high, the self-giving is high. We go to the interior, to the remote areas where maybe many others would not like to go. we have the missionaries and then the local clergy and the sisters who also accompany our professionals in the sense of making the person the center of all. So whenever we reach out, there is this understanding that especially when we are providing any service to poor people, we do understand that we are actually touching the face of Christ. During the Civil War time, it is proved that when a lot of the Catholic Church institutions remain always with the people. So the people, they know this history, and then but also our institutions like education, schools. We have 320 schools in which we give education to 170,000 Ethiopians, inclusive to everybody else without any religious or tribal differentiation. All those who are benefiting the education from our schools, they know what the Catholic Church is doing. But also the health services, the health we provide, people welcome it because there is not only the professional deliverance there, but there is a quality of the service. There is the heart and tenderness and care to people. So people, they see this. Because of this, there is huge trust from the community, from people.
I understand that Archbishop Terence Prendergast of Ottawa came to visit you recently. Tell us about that trip.
That trip was quite a joyful moment for us. The delegation came in the right time where the Bishops' Conference plenary was taking place. They managed to meet the bishops of Catholic bishops in Ethiopia, but also we managed to take them to the community. The Bishops' Conference were very, very happy to see this high delegation coming to visit them. So the Bishops' Conference of Ethiopia felt a closeness with the Bishops' Conference of Catholic, Bishops' Conference of Canada. And then secondly, when we take them to the community in the village, they met the beneficiaries. Most of them are women. Women are the group who gets all the problem when there is shortage of water. They are the one who really gets the first problem. And then when there is no enough food, a mother to say, I don't have food today to give you supper to her child. This would be the most terrible thing can happen to a mother. So these are the group we are trying to help, that they have enough food for their children, that they work on their field. And in order to work, then we need to provide water, because to provide water you need technologies, that you need different facilities that they would have. So they came to see them. It was a great joy for the community. They felt so proud of themselves that they have seen people coming from Canada and bishops coming to see us.
Uno de los peores sonidos que un padre de familia puede escuchar es a su hijo llorando en la noche, atormentado por el hambre. Muchos padres viviendo en pobreza oyen este grito y no pueden hacer nada porque no tienen alimento. Pero Dios todo el tiempo escucha las voces de los pobres y de los vulnerables. Hay suficiente comida para alimentar el planeta. Creemos que con su ayuda y con el compromiso de muchos gobiernos y las Naciones Unidas podemos terminar con el hambre para el año 2025. Somos una sola familia y podemos hacerlo. ¿Quieres tú unirte?
And that was President of Caritas, Cardinal Oscar Rodriguez Maradiaga, and a short video produced by the Canadian Catholic Organization for Development and Peace, highlighting just some of their initiatives. As Catholics, we constantly hear about the words solidarity, subsidiarity. What does that mean, and how does that relate to our baptismal vocation?
The solidarity and the subsidiarity is a big word, but then it is simple when we see what we do on the ground. The Development and Peace from here, from Canada, they do their solidarity with us, means they share the resource they get from their people here and then deliver it to us. So they become messengers of that joy of the people from here, from Canada. Down at the ground, we receive this. When we receive, the Development and Peace are not making any decision on behalf of us. We are not also not making the decision on behalf of the beneficiaries. we respected that what we call principle of subsidiarity, that the beneficiaries know their problem, but also they know the solutions. So we only facilitate the implementation for the solution and then accompany the community we serve. We are not working from top to down or maybe down only to top, but together we are sharing the love of God, and then in that sharing there is always solidarity. There is a feeling, a problem of another person, like this is my problem also. And then in that family environment that we practice really the love of God, that we experience the presence of God, and then in that presence we experience our call of baptismal, that we are the follower of Christ.
Can you share with us some thoughts about how Ethiopia has changed from when you knew it as a child to now, and what your hope is for the future?
When I was a child, I grown up in a civil war. When we were students, we go to the school and then we had to be trained how to escape war. Fighters were bombarding in the village where we are, so we had to be trained how to, escape when war happened. All your movement is being full of fear. I mean, the first very important thing that we usually take it for granted is peace. When you have peace, mind can think peacefully, and then mind can think about good development and a very healthy progress, human progress contribution to the country. So there is huge difference between the time I was a child and then a student, and then after the time I am a priest, because I was ordained a priest right the time the communist government was falling down. Now the country is working very hard on development. There are a lot of infrastructure development going on, but then change comes with its own challenge. Where you have a lot of development going on, maybe few are getting rich, a lot of poor people are becoming even more poorer. So in this case, our role becomes much bigger, and the call for solidarity and support becomes much demanding than it was before.
What can we do to support you?
The development and peace are with us, so they know our situation on the ground. So if from this side continue to support the good cause and the campaign that development and peace are doing, we assure to the people who are supporting Ethiopia their support, and then their intention will be really respected and delivered to the people on the ground. So we have varieties of projects which need to be supported on food security, and then on migration, especially on human trafficking, and then education also. We have 362 schools, but most of them are in countrysides. When they are in the rural areas, parents cannot contribute for sustaining the schools, but the church feel that this mission still has to be continue, and then actually we have started a university which we are calling a support of any people with good with good intention to support, but any support that coming to development and peace, we can assure you that any penny, any support they give us, we deliver it to the community down the grassroots with a very clear, transparent and accountability manner.
Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
I was speaking with Father Hagos, the Executive Director of Caritas Ethiopia and the Secretary General of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Ethiopia.
Développement et Paix fait partie d'un réseau international qui sont engagés en faveur de la justice et de la charité dans le monde. Ce réseau s'appelle Caritas Internationalis. Caritas s'est donné comme objectif cette année une grande campagne de lutter contre la faim dans le monde. Et le pape s'est lié à cette campagne. Il nous rappelle continuellement comme Église qu'il est important que nous sortions de notre confort, que nous allions vers ces gens qui sont à la marge. Et certainement, dans notre monde, beaucoup de ces gens à la marge souffrent de faim. Nous voulons unir nos voix et nos efforts à cette campagne internationale pour lutter contre la faim. Depuis que Développement et Paix a été fondé, le 5e dimanche du carême a été connu comme le dimanche du carême de partage. Dans la démarche du carême, nous prenons le temps de poser un geste concret d'aumône. J'étais adolescent, je me souviens quand on a commencé le carême du partage, et je me souviens de ramasser mes sous durant tout le temps du carême pour qu'au 5e dimanche, je puisse apporter ma petite canette avec mes sous pour ma contribution à l'œuvre de Développement et Paix. Le 5e dimanche du carême, c'est vraiment un moment où nous essayons, comme communauté chrétienne à la grandeur du Canada, de faire du bien à ces populations qui ont tellement besoin de notre aide. C'est un temps fort de vie chrétienne et de solidarité.
To support relief efforts in the Horn of Africa, visit Development and Peace at devp.org. And you can also watch Pope Francis's appeal by visiting food.caritas.org. And that's all for tonight. If you have any comments or questions on this episode of Catholic Focus, write to us, focus@saltandlighttv.org. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.